slip. You love me with devotion. You don't kill me when I trip. Yeah, I need a sip from the river.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jaisha Destiny, and welcome to my new segment, For You. This is just where I share my thoughts on different topics that come to mind. So if what I talk about is something that's on your mind too, then this is for you. So without further ado, we're going to go right ahead and get into this video. Y'all, I'm so happy to be starting this new segment today because if you know me, I love to talk. I am a talker. I love conversing. I love picking people's brains. I love when my brain gets picked on as well. Not picked. You know what I mean? I love when people ask me questions as well. That gets me thinking and gets my mind going as well. So this segment that I'm starting, y'all, I'm just really, really excited. So I hope y'all are excited with me as well. And something that I genuinely wanted to do when I started this YouTube channel, or actually when I revamped my YouTube channel, is to make a community, like to genuinely make a home for new believers, old believers, not old believers, but like, seasoned believers, people that's been in the game, non-believers as well, where you can just sit in the comments and converse and have genuine, real, respectful conversations. So like I said, I'm just too excited to be starting this segment. And the topic that I'm actually going to be talking to y'all about today is something that's really vulnerable for me. It may not be for some, but to me, it's just been something that I've been dealing with since I was like maybe a freshman, sophomore in high school. And let me just say, like, this is something that I'm actually not even completely healed from. Like, I'm actively working on this right now. So the fact that I'm even opening up to you guys about this topic and just letting you in, like, I'm actually very excited about it, but also scared at the same time, because the internet, some of y'all internet people be mean. Let's just be real. Some of y'all be mean. And I'm not talking about people that just that leave genuine advice or, are respectful in the comments, but some of y'all are actually like really like diabolical and rude and nasty. And I just don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna pray for you anyway. So yeah, I'm so excited to get this started. Let's just go ahead and get into it because like y'all know, I can run my mouth. So today's talking point I actually wanted to bring to y'all is comparison. If y'all kind of see me looking down or to the side, it is because I have my notes up in front of me on my iPad because, like I keep mentioning, I'm a talker. I can go off track very, very easily. But I wanted to kind of keep myself on a schedule because the fact that this video is already 7 minutes is crazy. And you know what? I genuinely don't like that this wrist is naked. So I'm about to put my Apple Watch on. Comparison is something, like I sort of briefly mentioned, it's something that I've been dealing with since I was like a freshman, sophomore year of high school, obviously. And I can say now that I look back at it, I didn't think about it back then, but now being, 29, turning 30 in like 4 months, I would say I actually started really like dealing with comparison when I was younger because my biological father used to compare my sister and I a lot in so many different ways. But I think it really like stuck with me and did more when I started high school. And it was actually around the time I started posting YouTube. I think I mentioned this briefly, but just like a quick background story, I've always been on YouTube. But I've always just been the type of person that started, deleted. And when I first started YouTube, I was a freshman in high school and I was doing singing content. I was doing song covers. And the crazy part is like, I was good. I had friends tell me that I sung good. Obviously, my family knew that I can sing. Random people at my school, they used to watch my videos. It was actually really funny because there was one person, and shout out to him. I was singing this song and it was like very popular back then. I can't think of the name, but I was singing the song and he got mad at me the next day because I didn't sing a certain part of it. So, but other than that, I sung the song really well. I actually sung the national anthem when I was in 8th grade. Now, granted, I'm not going to sit here and act like I just got range like that, right? I don't know how I did that, but I did. So, and I think I was probably given more grace because I was in 8th grade. Not saying 8th graders can't sing because there'd be people that just be blowing and God just did something extra with their throat. I don't know. But I just know for me, I just got range like that. But I do know, like, when I actively do like the proper steps to take care of my voice and control my voice, I can really do some things. But obviously I can sing I can sing too. So it's not like I gotta try. I don't want to say I ain't gotta try too hard, but the Lord did bless me with the gift of singing. So, that's what I do. So, anyways, like I said, I started posting videos when I was a freshman, sophomore year in high school, and they were song covers. And also during that time when I was posting the song covers, I was noticing a lot of people posting song covers as well. And those people that I were watching were people that, sounded better than me, like just keeping it a buck. Like, of course, I know I can sing, but of course, I know there are people that sound better than me. I mean, we have Naomi Rain, we have Tasha Cobbs. Like, granted, my earring fell out my ear. Yeah, like I know, like again, like I just know that we have Lizzie Morgan, and just so many, Yolanda, like just so many people out there who voices are just I don't even know what to say. Like I don't even know the word to describe their voices, but their voices are just amazing. And I'm not downplaying my voice because again, I know I can sing, but there are some people that just sound better than me, and that's okay. But for some reason, it just really hit me hard at that time, and it probably just came from my age, and me like really wanting to be signed back then. And I just felt like what was in my head a lot was that if these people that are online that have been posting longer than I have not been discovered yet, why do I expect me to get discovered? And I feel like now that I'm actually talking about it out loud, I also feel like I kind of dealt with like impatience as well, because like when you listen to like an artist's like background story, a lot of them always say like I've been in the game for 10 years, I've been singing since I was 7, or like whatever the case may be. But for some reason at that age, I just felt like I was supposed to get discovered the next day. I don't know who planted that lie in my head. And granted, anything can happen, but nothing in my mind told me that patience is a virtue. And on top of that, me being a Christian as well, patience is one of the fruits of the spirit. But I wasn't thinking like that. I felt like I should just get discovered right then and there. And that's just what it is. And that's also around the time where I discovered Chloe and Halle. And y'all know how amazing their voices are. They weren't discovered yet. So in my head, again, I'm like, if these two girls that sound amazing have not been discovered yet, then who am I to get discovered? Mind y'all, they had heck of views, heck of comments, fans, and all that stuff. But I don't know, something just wasn't registering in my brain that things take time. I don't know, like I said, I don't know who I thought I was, but I just felt like I should have just been that girl and just been popping. So I let that sadly get the best of me. So I like completely stopped singing for a very, very long time, right? So fast forward to when it comes to my YouTube channel, and I'm seeing all these people that are around my age going to like VidCon and gaining subscribers and and all that good stuff. I started trying to follow trends. I started trying to, again, using the word, comparing myself to them. And it's even crazier because fast forward a little more is that I actually tried to change my sound. Like y'all know, like when Billie Eilish came out, like those soulful, like y'all know what I'm talking about. Like I tried to make my voice sound like that. Granted, I can do it, but it just wasn't me. So again, like you just see this pattern in my life of where I see somebody else, I'm like, I want that, and I try to emulate that, and it doesn't work out for me, so I quit. That was literally my life. Again, not taking into consideration that people have their own paths. That was their path, and I have my own. But again, it just wasn't registering in my brain. And I really don't like giving the enemy heck of credit, because at the end of the day, he does not have authority. And I really, am so glad that Pastor Philip Mitchell, despite how some people may feel about him, To me, he gives man of God and disciple. And like that's to me. Now, but anyway, so I really love that this clip that I recently saw of him saying that, like the enemy doesn't have authority. Like we need to stop giving the enemy so much credit. He literally has to go to God to do anything. And on top of that, he's not omnipresent. He can't be dealing with me and then dealing with you on the same time. He don't got that type of power like the Lord does. Yes, they're like, like demons roaming around the earth, and so be it. But even still, like they can only do so much with little permission that they have. Because if the enemy is like, I want to mess with you, and the Lord says no, it's no. He can't even do it. So but I do think a lot of it was not even a lot of it, like partial of it was the enemy, because he knew the type of person I was at the end of the day. Because what is true is that, he is watching you. Like there are some points in time where he is watching you. But he's going based off of patterns. He doesn't know what your thoughts are on the inside. He doesn't know any of that. He goes based off of what he sees and what your patterns are. And I feel like I would say it out loud because I just went through a lot mentally at that time as well. Not even at that time, but just before as well, of me just being an overthinker. He knew that about me. So I just feel like those seeds were planted. So I would say it was really like maybe like 20% enemy and 80% just me and my thoughts, honestly. Because anytime that I seen something, I'm like, oh, I want to do that like them, or I want to do this like them. And I do the thing, but it doesn't feel authentic. And I feel like people can tell when you're just doing something, like when you're being fake. Even though they don't know you, I feel like people do have some type of discernment where they're like, oh, like, no, this ain't you. Like, no, you're being fake. Because I do see it. And sorry if I'm not looking into the camera, because like I'm really like genuinely having a conversation. So from this point on, y'all got my attention. Again, like I just feel like I was someone that just found a way to talk down on myself based off of what I was comparing myself to. And it's crazy because even like, just fast forwarding again, like when I rededicated my life to the Lord, even then I felt myself comparing to other Christians and their walks. Granted, these are Christians that have been in the faith for like 10 plus years, 20 plus years. Mind you, I've always known God. My mom has always took me to church. I'm a church kid. But I would say that I didn't want to build a real connection with the Lord until 2023. December 22nd, 2023 is actually when I gave the Lord a serious yes. And even still, like I want to talk about that afterwards. But yeah, so I'm 3 years in. But at that time when I like rededicated my life to the Lord and like really wanted to make music for the Lord, I'm comparing myself to people that's been in the, the Christian community, or like, I don't want to call it an industry, but like, just been in the game. Like I'm comparing myself to people that's been doing this thing. I'm happy. Like I was literally just born. December 22nd, 2023, I was just born. And even going back, I did give my life to Christ when I was 9 years old, but I strayed. So like I said, like it wasn't until December 22nd, 2023 is when I really, really tried to live the life that the Lord wanted me to live. Right. So yeah, when I say I'm over here comparing myself to all these people, mind y'all, I'm not taking into consideration what the work that person put in. I'm not taking into consideration that it's their path and I have my own. I'm also not taking into consideration that this person may be living this lavish lifestyle and it may not even be God. Because you have people that say, I thank God, I thank God, I thank God. Half of the time, they didn't even ask the Lord if this is something that they were supposed to do. Granted, you do have people out there that are just good at what they do and, they work hard. So I'm not going to discredit the work that they put in. But just because you put in the work doesn't mean that it's God. Like there's actually one girl, and I can't think of her name, but There was actually one girl that she's a Christian content creator, and she even said like she had like this really big, like, I don't know if it was a hair brand or a clothing brand, but she was selling a product, and the Lord literally told her to stop doing that. And she was making bank from what she said. Like she was making bank, but the Lord told her to stop and to pursue content creation. So yeah, something can be bringing you a lot of revenue, and you be thinking like, thank God, thank God, thank God, and very much thank God. But half of the time, that may not even be from God. Those are the things that, when I was comparing myself, I wasn't thinking about. The main one being what they're doing. I don't even know if that's God, right? Like I don't know what they're doing. Because I definitely feel like nowadays people love to mention God and thank God, thank God, thank God. And I do believe that there are some people that mean it. And then I do believe also there are some people that only use it because God is trending right now. And I'm grateful that he is, because I do think that, but every person that may just only be using the Lord's name for clout could actually be a seed planting into somebody else, and they really do actually meet the Lord in that moment. So I do believe that, there are some good that can come out of it. Like I said, how I was comparing my life to other Christians, I even got to a point where like I had like a full like midlife crisis at a sense, because okay, can we be real here? Why is it that when, and I'm just talking about women, but for me, I feel like every time there's somebody, a woman that comes to Christ, they all of a sudden start dressing girly. Like, and I'm not talking about modest. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about super girly. And I do believe that there are some women out there that are just super girly. One of my best friends, no, two of my best friends, they're like that. Like they're just girly, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with being girly, right? I think it's actually very cute. But I don't know. I just feel like my bad, y'all. But I just feel like as Christian women, a lot of the times when women start to, you know, give their life to Christ, their appearance changes. And again, in a sense of how they dress. Because me personally, and just giving y'all some names, the way that I like dressing is like, I would say the best I can say is Megan Ashley. I love her style. Like, and that's very much me. And if you know me, I'm someone that stay in sweatpants. Like I'm sorry. I just love me some sweatpants, okay? I do. And granted, me wearing baggier clothes now kind of has something to do with me not really liking my body, but it's okay because, I can change. I'm just like being transparent. I'm like the biggest I've ever been, like, and I don't like it. So I like to wear clothes that really don't show that all the time. So that's why I like wearing baggier clothes. But even still, like when I was smaller, like for Thanksgiving, we had Thanksgiving at our place, and I wore sweatpants and a hoodie because I'm like, y'all family. Like, what? Like, I ain't gonna put on my best clothes because I'm about to eat with my, so I'm like somebody that really loves sweatpants. And don't get me wrong, like there are some days where like I'll wear a dress, or I'll wear like a really cutesy outfit or whatever. But for the most part, I love my baggy jeans. I can't help it. So, and this is not to talk down to anybody, because when I see the styles, I'm like, oh my gosh, those are very cute. But in my mind, I turned it into something like, now that I'm a Christian, I want to be seen as a certain type of woman. I need to start dressing like that. And mind you, I'm doing this at my big old age. Like I'm 29 years old. I turned 30 in 4 months. And I had a big, I guess, I don't know if that's a midlife crisis, because that's not necessarily midlife. But I just had this whole crisis of this woman that I'm supposed to be. Granted, this is all like worldly things, because at the end of the day, of course, I'm not wearing no like crop tops that's up to here and my butt cheeks is out. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about people that dress very cutesy, very demure, you know. And I just felt like I had to dress like that in order to be perceived as a Christian or a Christian woman, I will say. And nobody told me that. Nobody told me that. Again, I'm not talking about modesty. I'm just talking about, again, just women dressing girly. And again, I think it's very, very cute. Like there's this one influencer that I follow. I think her style is adorable. Like it's adorable. Like I love it. Now, would I personally be wearing those type of things every day? No. But would I wear it every now and then? Yeah. So like again, like I had a moment where like I was really like in my head going crazy, like, like, am I a tomboy? Am I a girly girl? Or like, am I this? Am I that? Again, I'm 29. I'm 29 years old, and I'm emphasizing that not because I feel like I'm old, but because these are real moments of real thoughts I have as an adult, you know? And I just want to be honest with, like, I want to be honest with y'all and transparent. Well, honest and transparent is the same thing, but I just want to be honest with y'all about, how I've been feeling. And again, just going back to the comparison, because I see it online so much, in my mind, it just turned into like, because these newly Christians are dressing like this, I need to dress like that too to be seen. And gratefully, I don't know what this is, and this really just could be the grace of God. But I have the mindset where like I can go off in my head, but then I hit reality very, very quick. Like I can get overwhelmed in my head and I just be like saying this and that and just going back and forth or whatever the case may be. But then there's just something in me that's just like, stop, stop. And in that moment when I had that realization, what came to me is that this does not define you. How you look does not define you. How you dress does not define you. How the Lord sees you is what defines you. Your identity is not in this. You shouldn't be focused on this. You should be focused on the kingdom. You need to be kingdom minded. And after that, the peace that I felt after I just went crazy in my head. Again, nobody's telling me these things. I'm just going based off of social media and then what goes on in my head. Nobody is telling me these things. Nobody. But yeah, I had, again, just by the grace of God, I just had this strong sense of stopping, thinking, reflecting, and reminding myself at the end of the day, you are not of this world. Yes, the dresses and the makeup and the hair and all that stuff is cute, because don't get me wrong, I love a good face beat. I love when I get my hair done. I just can't afford it right now. Just being honest. Like, just being transparent. I'm just happy that I still get to get my nails and toes done. That's the type of girly I am. Like my hair, I can wear like this, do a twist out, flat iron it myself, whatever. My clothes, I have a good mixture. I mean, I work at a physical therapist clinic, so I wear scrub bottoms and a black shirt. But my nails though, once I was able to get my nails done again, that was the first thing I did. Cause my nails are my thing. Especially because me, like, just being honest, like, I feel like I have sort of small hands. So I just feel like the nails make my hands look grown. Is that's just how I think. After my breaking point, and me, being able to catch myself and, come to that realization, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm just completely, I guess, delivered from comparison, right? Because I definitely still have my moments, especially me, because I'm the type of person where, like, if I'm scrolling on social media, I don't necessarily say, like, I want that person's life, but I'm more so like, oh, I can do that. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be completely transparent. I fell into the trap of trying to make an ebook. And I don't think that making ebooks are wrong, especially like if the intent is right and it's not just like a quick money grab and you're genuinely trying to help people, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But I wasn't doing none of that. I thought I was, like, I tried to tell myself that was, but it wasn't because of that. I wanted the money. The money. Just being honest. I wanted the money. And I don't even necessarily think there's nothing wrong with that, like of wanting more money. But when money becomes your God and your idol, and you're only doing things to obtain money and to make the most money, and when you wake up, all you're thinking about money, you're all through the day, all you're thinking about money, and you're making irrational or irresponsible decisions with money, then I do think it's a problem, especially if you're not consulting with God about it. But a lot of the times I am trying to be very, very intentional. So I do go to God and be like, hey, like, is this something that you want me to do? Because with me, I can honestly say with YouTube and singing, I feel like I definitely got confirmation from the Lord that this is something that I'm supposed to be doing. Now, if this is supposed to be like just like my full-fledged career and it stops here, I don't know. But I do 100% believe that I got the okay to do this, right? And this could potentially give me money. Or I don't know. For the most part, I'm doing this because I genuinely like filming and I love this. Like, it's really fun to do. Now, editing, me and editing can fight sometimes. But as far as like filming and setting up, I love. Singing, obviously, I love. So it's not, sorry, y'all, my habit tracker thing is going off. So yeah, it's not that wanting to make money is a problem. It's just your heart posture and your mindset behind it, especially because what is the saying? Something on like where your heart, no, what is it? Where your money leads, that's where your heart is. So like if my money is always going to designer bags, my heart is just focused on designer bags. So hopefully that makes sense. To kind of wrap this up, like I said, like, do I feel like I just fully defeated comparison? No. But I will say that I do have some tools that kind of help me get through my comparison. And if you're somebody that sort of deals with comparison too, these are some steps that, I take. The first one being, and I think it's just really like one of the most important ones, is remind yourself who you are in Christ. And I think how you can do that is just, repeat to yourself, like, at the end of the day, the Lord died for me. Find scripture that aligns with what you're going through. Remind yourself you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Remind yourself that you have a creator that knew you before you were even placed in your mom's womb, that knows every count of hair follicles that are on your head. So when you remind yourself like how loved you are, and the one way that you can do that is just reminding yourself of the gospel and really breaking down the gospel of what he did for you, because God loved you that much, and also what he saved you from. Like, if I think about just the gospel one, and then what the Lord literally said, like, to me, like when I say the Lord grabbed me by my arm and said, get over here, I'm grateful that he loved me that much. It hurt. Do not get me wrong. It hurt my feelings. I was sad. I was really, really hurt. But I'm grateful that he did it, because it brought me on a path that led me closer to him. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to sit here and say that now that my relationship with the Lord is the best, because I'm still have my moments. Like, I still have my moments. And I'm not happy to say that, but it's the truth, because one thing that I want to build with my channel is honesty and transparency. Well, again, same thing, but especially if it's a topic that I'm coming to y'all about, like if I'm talking about comparison in my walk with Christ, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. You're going to get the real from me always. So yeah. But going back on track again, reminding myself who I am in Christ. I remind myself that my identity isn't in this world. Again, just going back to like me having that realization that I'm like, am I a tomboy? Am I a girly girl? Again, 29 years old. And I'm like, it's funny now when I think about it, because I'm like, bruh, to me, I'm like, for me, I'm like, that was so childish. But when I was going through it, it was real. Like, it was really affecting me for like a week or two. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, I'm a jack of all trades. And on top of that, I'm not nothing. I'm a child of God, period. That's my identity. But yeah, so that's the second thing. The third thing is I remind myself that the other person's path is theirs and I have my own. So I said that plenty of times already. So I'm not going to go too much in detail with that. I also remind myself that I don't know what a person went through to get where they are, because let's be honest, there's people that idolize these basketball wives or these, wags or these influencers. And half of the time that stuff is fake. Half of the time I'm like, these people had to sleep around to get to where they needed to be. And that's men and women. And I'm not going to sit here and say everybody did that. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is like, I don't know what a certain person went through to get to where they're at. It could have been the path that the Lord wanted them to take, which is amazing. Or it could have been them making their own decisions, and their own decisions had led to them being on their knees. But I don't know that. I just see the luxury. Half of the time, you seeing people find these PJs and they written that stuff. They written to just sit in the seat of a PJ. That's wild. The last thing I do is I remind myself that someone's lifestyle isn't even God's will for them or have nothing to do with him. And again, I mentioned that already too, so I'm not going to go into much detail, but at the end of the day, I'm like, people could be doing something that's not even of God, and they think it is. But that's probably far from what he wants them to do, but they think that it's of him because they're making so much money about it, or they're getting so much clout on it. That matter to God? What? Don't matter to him? He's not going to send. You really think that Jesus is going to come back, and when we're all on Judgment Day, and he going to ask you how many Instagram followers you had? You think that's the question he going to ask you? Or is he going to ask you, how did you use that platform to glorify him? And if you're somebody that's a content creator, how would you answer that question? Would you sit here and say, but I have 100,000 followers, but you didn't lead them to Christ though? You didn't plant the seed. So what did you really do? And that's my goal with this. I don't care if only 2 people watch this video. If those 2 people leave a comment and said, I'm thinking about pursuing the Lord, that's what's going to make me happy. Not that I got 10,000 followers or whatever the case may be, and I got like $500 from a video. That, like, of course I'm gonna be grateful for it. Don't get me wrong, but that's not what I'm after now in this season. Because I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that that's not what I want to propose, because that would be a lie. That would be a absolute lie. But now, what I want to see in my comments is that after this video, after listening to your song, I gave my life to Christ. After watching your video, I picked up my Bible for the first time in years. After your video, I went to church. That's what I want to see. That is what's going to bring me joy. Not the views, not the followers, not the numbers, but that. And I'm done talking now. So that's all I have for y'all today. I thank you all so much for watching my video. Let me know in the comments if this is something that's also been on your mind as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and definitely do not forget to subscribe. Also follow me on all of my social media platforms at JShaDestiny. And I'll see y'all in the next For You. Bye y'all.